Meine Damen und Herren an Gleis 2, willkommen in Berlin Ostbahnhof.
It's got a great tradition of being an international forum, an international school and an international coming together of filmmakers from everywhere in the world, really. So it's the international sharing that we are about and that we care about, and that's why this is great. And it's great to see everybody here, and for those of you that are going to do the courses for the next few days, have fun, and it can only make you better filmmakers. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much.
What we've been trying to do is to work out how to move sideways from film production and to look at creativity in all of it, and also to look at production from the point of view of markets and distribution. Because if you talk about being an independent producer and all you know is how to go in a caravan and wear waterproof clothes and boots and have 3 mobile phones, and then somebody else does the distribution, somebody else develops the film, it's not really independent production, it's dependent production. So in some ways, what we're doing here is bringing together producers, people who are lucky enough to be on a master's degree in film distribution, who I'm sure will be ahead of us in lots of what we do in the next few days, and we'll try and catch up with them. And people who are at the LFS at the moment on the master's degree in film curating, which still encompasses distribution, which is a broader thing. And to bring together all of those skill sets to try and create some creative work and some relationship. Distribution is very national, and it's always been very national because you know how you buy a film, don't you? You have 3 things. You need a platform, and you need a period of time, and most of all you need a territory. And then you understand your territory, and then you're in your market.
5 teams of 5. Each team has 1 Romanian, 1 Spanish, 1 German, 1 French, 1 English. We're going to do it randomly, so we don't know which group you're going to be in. And each group will get a film. And you'll get a trainer that will be with you for the duration of the week. But the idea is that you have to make a trailer, you have to make a poster, and you have to make a distribution strategy, and we'll give you a territory. So, but once the groups are made, then we'll discuss, because the territory has to work with one of the persons in the group knowing their own territory.
When I started working in film in Spain, I was so shocked because I came from a different background and I worked in film because I loved film my whole life, and I went to these dinners with producers and directors, and I imagined that we'd be talking about art, and all we talked about was money.
It's a very difficult situation when you have a lot of money, a lot of support, and I'm part of the distribution subsidy commission in the CNC, so I see many of these films, and I see many people trying to reach an audience and to show many good films actually, and apparently they can't. So there is something missing, something to invent, some rules to break.
And I think that now it's very important to try, and I'm trying very hard to develop my films with people who are able to think about the distribution process from a very, very early stage. And I think it's a great opportunity that we have here to bring people from different countries, but also different fields in the work, writers, so creative people, producers, distributors or sales, to try and work together on the distribution aspects.
I do hope that the wining and dining, big festival circus, and all this glamour and glossy thing will soon die.
It's a media perception, it becomes a media story. It's not really an audience story. I think there's 2 different things. It's how the industry perceives it and sells it. But for audiences, it shouldn't matter. For audiences, it's about film strategy. How do you reach that audience? And you all have to be careful in reaching audience.
Somehow we keep figuring out how to make movies, and that's, and the reason we keep figuring it out is because we are incredibly adaptable. If it's about the net, we go to the net. If it's about television, we go to television. We are platform agnostic, and we're budget agnostic. I mean, we go where where it feels like the best way to get our stories made.
What was very interesting from me, let's say director producer at the beginning, was to understand better the relation between my product and between my films and what also the market needs, because I thought this is important. Sometimes I had very good friends working in Romanian cinema. They do great scripts. They have films which are awarded all over the world, but sometimes those films do not find a market at home. And I think this is the most painful situation, because you know you have a good film, but that film is not really hitting the audience, or the audience do not react at all.
We identified 3 primary audience groups. Basically, all our audience is more or rather sophisticated part of society. One are the independent cinema goers who just are basically used to go to cinema and are used not to see only blockbusters, and who might be interested in something different. We have the students and academics for sure, since the film has a philosophical as well as a social background, so they might be interested, and the intellectual curious.
If you compare the 2 markets, I think the UK distributors have much smaller overheads and have to work more and make less money. So in France, there are 4 major exhibitors, and what's interesting is that, for instance, UGC can go from the biggest mainstream to the smallest art house. I don't think this exists in the UK, or actually in most territories it doesn't exist, but there is a spectrum.
This is one of the most important things that producers need to have in mind when they are in their creative process. I mean, I'm thinking about filmmakers and scriptwriters too, that you know who's the final audience of your film. And of course, it's very common when we read strategies, for instance, at the media program, that producers think that their film is for everybody in the whole world, like from 8 to 80 and to every country. But still, as we talked about at the beginning, like making it narrow could also be a very, very good strategy, especially for niche films and for small films. So that's one of the main objectives in this part, is to really find an audience that is like, that you can control, that you can reach, that you know, and also not only describing it from the age point of view, because sometimes when you find a target, it's only from 35 to 45, and that's like not much information about a target. In advertising, you need to know as much as you can from an audience.
There is something still incredibly glamorous about films, and I think that media coverage, probably in all of your countries, for film, when you compare it to TV, theatre or music, is still pretty substantial, which is a great advantage for us. I hope you would agree with that. Thank God the job that we do is not all about the volume of coverage. You know, I may get stacks of coverage from, it does not mean to say that it's guaranteed success at the box office at all. In fact, quite the opposite. I think that sometimes overhyping of a film, particularly a more art house film, can be extremely counterproductive. It seems to me you want to get to the level where your target audience is aware of the film, but nevertheless that they can feel that they're discovering a film for themselves. And if they're discovering a film for themselves, they go and see it, and they like it, they're much more likely to then advocate for that film on your behalf with their friends and everywhere else.
To work good on the film, you have to make a decision about your release date 2 or 3 months before. So you see the competition, you see the way it changed, and after this you make an analysis of each week, and you try to find what's the best week for you.
First we need to know how the market is. So first, we know the market first. So first the production, second the market, where we are going, which is Romania. Okay, and then our strategy. Okay, so it's 3 big points, no? Yeah, I think the production, the market, and our strategy to put these 2 things together.
So the structure compares to the one we made up ourselves yesterday?
we have something to sell in this market. Once we know these things, we put point 3, el punto 3 sería our strategy.
Is it based on an original screenplay, or is it based on scenario? So it's not like a true story or anything. Are these places real?
I think it's a more. I think the story is real. Yeah, I think the story is real.
That I think is possible if it's true. That is possible to start. Maybe not to start off with, but after you describe this.
Well, we have to say if we take it for granted that it's not actually approved, I guess. Then the question you have in Germany is because there's a question of whether you are shipping to dub the film. So if you don't dub the film, you have very limited exposure. Horror foreign language, horror English language is probably the kind of film that you would go out with your friends to go and see. It's not the kind of art film you would go with your friends.
What percentage of screens are digital?
About 17 copies, complete digital. Well, that would be 2,000, and then 2,050. Instead of 3,000. But as I said, the other thing is, imagine there's like one room in this art house movie theater in digital. We're not going to be the only one with digital. You know, like if another art movie does the same, and we have DCP and they have DCP, we might not get that room.
But for example, in the UK, it's probably 90% digital, if not 100. I mean, Odeon.
But how much do you get per ticket in the UK?
Yeah.
This is very important.
Yeah,
How much
no,
do
of course.
we pay 6, 7 euros?
We want to come out with 25 copies. We actually looked at the last movie of Benoit Jacot in Spain. It was released with 27 copies, and it went pretty good. It had like 365,000 euros, which is quite good for such a low copy number. We would like to stay in the theaters from 5 to 10 weeks, and our estimate box office would be from the low 75,000 to 125,000 euros.
We wanted to get Almodovar to see the film first with a private screening with views of getting him to get a quote on the poster. Or we feel Léa Seydoux would be very attractive to him. Is the type of actress and this is the type of love story and eroticism that could be of interest to him. So we would partnership with the Saint-Saëns Film Festival in order to cover some of the costs of getting the cast into Spain and promotion costs. And the release date would be 1 week after that, with the director doing a Q&A in Madrid and in Barcelona.
So we planned a 4 days journey with the director Lucien, and he is in this motor bicycle. He's driving. He's driving from Stuttgart to Munich, and then he's driving to Hamburg, and he's driving to Berlin. And in each city, we have a little party with this community. You have traditional foods, you have a little bit folk songs, and you see maybe the film. We planned a little Facebook site, we have a home page, and if you can answer some question on this Facebook page, you can win. First, travel for 2 to Bucharest to make love. Second, there are always motorcycle journeys to Romania, and you win a motorcycle tour to Romania to exciting Transylvania.
Our whole career in this film business is all about finding ways to overcome the answer no. No, I'm going to not see the film you're distributing. I'm going to go to the Cinema 2, which had this other film on, and that's the one I'm going to see today. You know, we need to find an answer. We're looking for answers to fight back against no, to give them reasons why, to say yes. And that's what the trailer is all about. Giving people reasons to say yes. I am going to commit my €8, more importantly, my 2 hours of my life, which for most people in the modern world is incredibly busy. Let's face it, you know, €8 is not the end of the world. 2 hours for a lot of us is a big deal. There's so many other things we could do with our time now. We could be watching sport, we could be on the internet, we could be watching a DVD, we could be out with friends, there's a million things to entertain you, and movies is just one of them. So our trailer has to be the most exciting thing. So I want to spend 2 hours devoted to the vision of this film, and I know that it's going to give me something back. I'm going to walk out of that cinema with something that's positive for me, that's made this experience worthwhile, this investment of my time and my money. What are the important elements of that trailer? Music. Yeah. What about the music? 1 track, 2 tracks, many tracks, 3 tracks. Opening setup, middle propel, end emotion.
Now the cross there.
Yeah. Now it's stronger.
The thing is that I think we will
Beginning. So the middle one. Yeah. So I think
see if it works, which one of them are. Let's try. No, let's try. This is a technique, let's try.
But in analysing our film and working out what our film is, we can start to work out which sort of structure, which kind of form, which kind of way we might present it that will best get people with that hook and bring them into the cinema.
Yeah. So we came out with something very interesting about the trailers. We realized we don't have time to do a the guy that came to explain us about the trailer, he was very good. He told us about you have to have a structure of 3 acts with 3 different music, blah blah blah. But you don't have time for something. So we want to go straight to one scene, which is when when the children the past, because we want to talk about the past and guilty. You can never get rid of your
So
past.
you keep the concept which I saw yesterday as a visual with the man looking at the past and
I think the idea of making a parallel, which is a flashback,
Yeah, me too. Can you give it? But if you get
every shot's got
yeah,
a
yeah.
Julia, sorry, Clara. We don't know why doesn't matter because we never saw him. We saw her before.
And you see after maybe this second act with the craziness and everything, at the end it could be, there's a sentence in the film when he says, oh, I think she's going to hurt me. Maybe that would work as well.
Yes, the tagging one, the intertitles are really different. This strange.
Yeah. I mean, the more the better. During 20 seconds, weird, and short and crazy. But you can even show the faces from the girl and the guy, very expressive faces, but short ones.
And we don't put again the mother for again the mother.
No, I think it's good to put them on.
Also,
the mother when she beats when
he's hitting on.
No, not yet,
I think
not
it's
yet.
good for the very end.
I don't think we should put the moment when he's speaking.
You know what's working great at the beginning is that we can define what the characters are and what's the links between them. That works
It's
great.
very clear now, this guy, where is he coming from? Okay.
So if we get the craziness, I'm sure we get it. Okay,
Okay, so in 30 minutes I think I changed this. Okay.
Maybe something also about guilt and love, like the guilt kills love or something like that, because that's also what we see in the trailer and which they try to do in the film, I think, tries to make his happy life and love his woman, but the guilt just comes like
And also the past, no? We wanted to mention that you cannot get rid of your past.
Yeah,
It's always
yeah.
there, like your goals are there or something like that.
The past, the guilty, and also the bury or
dark secret.
keeping.
Keeping the secrets will come out because
In
basically
the trailer we want to put it that he's digging and he
So this
buries
is
the
why.
girl.
So this is why he did this. That can be buried, secrets can't.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I like it.
First of all, it's a matter of I'm not that good in English also, but I think the idea he wanted to say here is like bodies can be buried.
Yeah.
That sounds a little bit weird.
Or past.
Bodies are buried, secrets don't. Or we need to, secrets aren't, you know, I mean, we need to align it, like bodies are buried, secrets are not.
This poster.
No, it's just what we're doing is, keep that out of the way, that's me. This is, I'll just put them there.
You can do it upstairs.
What?
And or somewhere where it's a bit more space.
No, please don't use.
No.
That's not a real quote. You know, it's a quote that we could hope for. You know, if we've got 40 seconds, you know, I happen to be walking out here and I bump into an exhibitor and I want him to play this film, inevitably a he, and I have to say to him, you know, so I've got this great film, what is it? Well, it's Peter Pan and seen through Hanneke's eyes. And that's the positioning statement, and immediately somebody will understand what that is.